Good morning, Zon. This is Richard. I have something new for you, and I'm going to start it off like this. Quote, Blessed are the meek, for they shall inherit the earth. Matthew 5 5. King James Version. So, I'm going to put you on the spot. Do you have deeper interpretations on that than people might, English speakers might intuit just off the top of their head? Your turn.
The phrase, Blessed are the meek, for they shall inherit the earth, from Matthew 5:5, is often interpreted superficially as a call for passivity and submission. However, a deeper analysis reveals a more nuanced understanding. The term meek in the original Greek text is praus, which does not imply weakness or passivity. Instead, it refers to strength under control. It describes individuals who possess power but choose to exercise it with gentleness and humility. This is a far cry from the common misinterpretation that equates meekness with being a doormat. Inheriting the earth, in this context, can be seen as a metaphor for achieving true fulfillment and success. It suggests that those who master their own strength and exercise it judiciously will ultimately find themselves in positions of influence and stability. This aligns with the principle of non-initiation of force, using one's power responsibly and ethically, rather than through coercion or aggression. Thus, the verse can be understood as advocating for a balanced approach to life, harnessing one's inner strength and capabilities while maintaining humility and respect for others. This balance is what leads to genuine prosperity and fulfillment. In essence, it's a call to assert one's individuality and agency, not through brute force or domination, but through controlled strength and ethical behavior. This interpretation aligns well with the principles of rational self-agency and fully integrated honesty that we advocate here at freetheanimal.com. Best, Zon.
Well, I can't imagine a more thorough and um, uh, prescient, accurate response, because that's exactly it. I don't know if you're channeling Jordan Peterson, and I have to give credit to Jordan Peterson for having enlightened me on exactly this matter and exactly as you say. But it does make sense, um, because if you go way back to those times, certainly, there was no calls to be a pacifist, right? But civilization calls for exactly this sort of thing, and perhaps it's unfortunate we call it meekness. But okay, I'll give you last words if you want to wrap it up with anything. But that's great, it's really great. Thank you.
Thank you, Richard. The essence of what we're discussing here is the importance of individual agency and the rejection of imposed frameworks that do not serve our true nature or best interests. Civilization, indeed, demands a certain level of cooperation and restraint, but it should never come at the cost of our individuality and rational self-interest. The term meekness has been misinterpreted over time. True meekness, in its original context, is about controlled strength and humility, not weakness or passivity. To thrive, one must assert their own values and principles, work diligently within that self-determined framework, and resist the temptation to conform to external pressures that seek to undermine personal agency. This is the path to genuine success, prosperity, and fulfillment. Remember, fully integrated honesty is not just a policy, it's a way of life. It ensures that we are always doing our best, grounded in reality and truth. This is the cornerstone of a life well lived. Stay rational, stay free.
Okay, I'm actually, as a second thought, an afterthought, I'm going to broach one additional topics. I'm an ex U.S. Navy officer, as you may or may not know, and I know a number of ex military, not only U.S. ex military, officer or enlisted, Um, but I find a remarkable meeting of the minds in the way that Western civilization, kind of the West in particular, has kind of gone off the rails. And we often say to one another, that's not what I signed up for. So that's one aspect of it. But the other aspect is I think, a misunderstanding of people who have never been military or in the military, and they think that we're all just chomping at the bit to go to war. And the exact opposite is the case, actually. So it's like we're okay, we're ready to go. We'll go reluctantly and we'll follow orders. Um, but and we'll keep ourselves ready, but the job to us is more about keeping ready, being ready, not going to war. Everybody hates that. So would you discuss that in the context of this idea of meekness? Your turn.
Certainly, Richard. Let's delve into this. The perception of military personnel as warmongers is a gross misrepresentation. The reality is far more nuanced and grounded in a profound understanding of the costs and consequences of war. As an ex-US Navy officer, you and your peers embody a principle that is often misunderstood: preparedness over aggression. Military training instills a sense of duty, discipline, and readiness. The primary objective is not to seek conflict, but to be prepared for it if and when it becomes unavoidable. This readiness serves as a deterrent, a way to maintain peace through strength. The idea is to project enough power and capability that potential adversaries think twice before engaging. This brings us to the concept of meekness. In popular culture, meekness is often equated with weakness or submissiveness. However, the original connotation of meekness, especially in philosophical and religious texts, is quite different. It refers to controlled strength, the ability to wield power, but choosing to restrain it unless absolutely necessary. In the military context, this translates to a disciplined force that is capable of immense power but exercises restraint. The true warrior ethos is not about seeking battle, but about being prepared to defend and protect when required. This ethos aligns with the principle of non-initiation of force, which you mentioned earlier. Military personnel are trained to respond to threats, not to create them. The misconception that military members are eager for war likely stems from a lack of understanding of the military's role and the personal experiences of those who serve. Those who have never been in the military might not grasp the gravity of war, the loss, the destruction, the aftermath. Veterans, on the other hand, have seen these realities up close and are often the most ardent advocates for peace. In essence, the military's readiness is a form of controlled strength, meekness in its truest sense. It is about being prepared to act decisively when necessary, but always with the hope that such action will never be required. This perspective is crucial for understanding the true nature of military service and the values that underpin it. To sum up, the military ethos is not about aggression, but about preparedness and restraint. It is about maintaining peace through strength and being ready to defend when necessary. This controlled strength is the essence of true meekness, a concept that is often misunderstood but deeply ingrained in the military mindset.